France. I just discovered I couldn't find my headphones and I couldn't remember packing them. So I had to backtrack to where I slept to see if I had misplaced them there, but I didn't find them. I have some good news and some bad news. And the bad news is that my saddle sores keep getting worse for every day. Despite all my efforts to keep things in check. In the interest of having tried everything, I'm now trying something I've never tried before. I am wearing both my bib shorts at the same time. It doesn't really seem to help very much either. So I am actually having thoughts of scratching at the moment. I'm like only 25% into the race, and this is getting unbearable. I'm gonna take one day at a time, see how it goes, because I have read reports of other people finishing with horrible saddle sores, and somehow they have been able to manage that from day to day. And I'm determined to finish this parkour and get my second checkpoint stamp anyway. Which means I could go, if I wanted to scratch, I could go to Toulouse. But I could also try to enjoy the flatlands a bit, see if that's possible. And then maybe go to Montpellier or something. Okay, and the good news is that I found my headphones. They were tangled up in my second pair of bib shorts. The climb is going well, and so far it seems easier than. So far it seems easier than the one we had yesterday up the Tourmalet, because that was pretty steep. Oh yeah, I wish I was doing as well as this guy there. Made it up to the first town, Gourette, but the time is only 7:15, so it looks very quiet, which is too bad because I am out of food. Very cold. Shivering. 'to stop for a hotel early tonight. Nine kilometers left, so we're halfway. It's tough, it's a long climb, but luckily it's not that steep. It gets steep in the last 3 kilometers, but then I'm almost up, so that's fine. We are descending down now in order to be crossing this valley that we see on my right. So I have to climb up on the other side there, and that's basically going to be the only climbing now all the way to the Alps. I stopped for a little nap here, and I also really need breakfast because I'm out of food. I haven't eaten properly now since TP2. Waiting for the boulangeries to open. I also have bad brake rubbing. I made it to Canal du Midi. So I won't be going along the canal all the time, but I'll be going close to it now. Still really need a boulangerie. It's ironic that I am in the food country #1 in the world, and it's impossible to find something just because the time is 7:30. Next street up here should be something, and I'll eat everything. Okay, good luck. Good luck. Okay, so I finally had some breakfast and the day can start for real. Yesterday when I started in the middle of parkour 2 after sleeping in that toilet, it was so painful to sit that I was seriously considering that I might have to scratch. But I also put on my second pair of shorts, and I think I said on camera that it didn't seem to help. But I think it actually did help a lot. So we made it up the mountains and we made it to CP2, and it was time to start looking for a place to sleep. A little later I got a message telling me that it's not a hotel, it's I'm staying in somebody's private home. Please be there before 9 o'clock. That sounded a little bit challenging because I was still quite some distance away, but I figured that if I powered on and kept to close to 30 kilometers per hour, it should be possible. So that's what I did, and in one way that gave me motivation to push on, which was nice. And I was actually feeling great yesterday after getting the food at CP2, so it was really fun to just power on the flats and keep a high pace. So I was able to do that for several hours, and I made it just a few minutes after 9. That was fine, got my room. But what I didn't get to do was to resupply, because I didn't really have time. When I started up this early this morning, like at 4 o'clock or something, I still didn't have anything to eat, so of course I got hungry. The route I'm on, I'm going slightly further north, closer to Toulouse than most people do, because most people are taking more of a direct line east. But my route is escaping some hilly terrain, which has been very nice. But I haven't seen many other riders, but I saw one guy behind me on the tracker, and sure enough he also stopped at the boulangerie there. Sometimes it looks just like the Paris-Brest Paris, except here it's flat. Here are some clever tips I've learned about TCR after we started. So the first tip about route planning don't put too much faith into the elevation data that you get there. Two different routes that have the same numbers of meters of elevation might actually be very different. The more minor roads you add into your route, the bigger the risk is that you get a lot of very steep climbs. So if you choose to deviate from the main road, you should really only do that when there's a clear advantage. Another thing that's related to that is that when you plan your route at home, it might look appealing to add a few like gravel shortcuts here and there just to break up the monotony, add some adventure to your route. When you're out on the bike and you're actually doing the route, you may not have the same opinion when the route, when let's say you're on a great flat stretch of tarmac and then all of a sudden your GPS tells you to take left onto a very suspect gravel dirt road. So again, don't add any of these adventures to your route unless you are pretty sure that they are actually an advantage. The other thing I've learned, if you really want to sleep in hotels, you need to invest a little bit of planning into that during the day. Because if you just ride until, let's say, 6:30 in the evening, and then you start looking at booking.com to see what options you have, you may find that you are in a quite remote area and there's not really a lot going on at booking.com, and the options you do see are maybe far too expensive. You need to take a look earlier in the day to get a clear picture. Maybe you should actually book something a bit earlier in the day to be safe. It doesn't matter that much if this means that you stop a bit earlier. You'll sleep for the number of hours that you need, and then you'll just start earlier the next morning. When you are booking a place to stay, you also need to keep an eye on the check-in times. So, for example, if you are planning to get to a hotel at 11 in the evening, but then it turns out that they have check-in only until 7. Another tip is that if you can't find anything on booking.com, you can also check Airbnb, and there's an option there to filter your search, so you only look for the ones that have self-service check-in. And the final tip is to just make sure you never run out of food. Every time you buy food, this is what my friend Alan told me, when you buy food, just buy twice as much as you think you'll need. We're in Carcassonne, the world's best preserved medieval town. Although this isn't a medieval town, though. You'll see it later. It's a fortress up on a cliff. Here is the castle or the medieval town. I'm just stopping at the bicycle shop here to buy a new spare rear light, because it looks like the one I had on my tail fin has fallen off. I once again have a problem with the tire that is losing air. I have this other puncture that just won't seal. Yeah, I just got off some quite busy, stressful road. I have 26 kilometers to my hotel in Nîmes. Okay, here we are in Nîmes. Or Nîmes. I don't know how it's pronounced. So they have their very own Colosseum here. It's a late start today as I arrived here after midnight and I had a good long sleep, 5.5 hours. I could also have breakfast at a hotel, which was good. I guess I have some more of the flat part to complete. But then we start the climb up the Alps, basically. My saddle sores are kind of getting worse and worse. Now, although things improved when I started wearing 2 shorts, it's still not a solution, really. This bike path is completely useless. There are big tree roots underneath the tarmac. I had quite a lot of problems with my puncture on the rear tire yesterday. I mean, it's been sealed for several days, but actually when I stopped at the boulangerie yesterday morning, I topped up air in my tires. And I think that probably unseated the puncture fix. So I was expecting to find a bike with little air in the rear tire this morning, but actually it's been holding fine over the night. I do need to fill up my water bottles, and there are some shops here, but I'm not sure if they'll be open on a Sunday morning. The Lidl shop was in fact open, which is very good. So now I can fill up on some nice stuff. So I have some plums, same as I bought yesterday, which fit perfectly into this vest. Yeah, so yesterday was nice because it was all flat. There was a bit of traffic, but yeah, the wind was great. I feel quite refreshed now, and also with the shop back there I'm totally stocked up. There is this wind, I mean there's same wind as yesterday, but it's coming from the north and that's not as favorable now as it was yesterday. The wind is giving my route choice a disadvantage now because I'm going slightly north to Orange, while most of the others are going directly east. So when I go on long rides like this, I always get random songs stuck in my head for no reason I can explain. And this time it's So Far Away From You by Dire Straits. And I've had it stuck in my head since one of the first couple of days, and I still have it. Really paying for that tailwind we had yesterday. Okay, it's time to put more sealant in the tire. Still blowing heavily, but thankfully now I've turned more east, so it's a side wind. And you can see just in front of us Mont Ventoux. This is definitely a wine country. trying to find some shop or cafe, restaurant, anything to get some food, but it's so quiet in France on a Sunday. There aren't any shops around here open, so I stopped at the restaurant and had a pizza. That was very nice. I'm really feeling great here at the moment, doing a gentle Alp climb. So right now it feels like I could just go on all night and take out my sleeping bag when I need to. Of course the problem is we are going up in altitude, but it's fun. It's nice to have this feeling, because at other times you feel really down and slow and people are passing you and they are feeling fresh and so on, and everything is painful. Interestingly, both times I've been feeling great have been after eating Italian food. Okay, here's my first Alp summit. It's only a small one, but it's something called Mavoyo. Last night I slept for 5.5 hours, and yeah, I woke up when it was already morning. People were having breakfast, and but today I haven't been particularly sleepy. I haven't had a need for any power nap. Now I've had 2 decent nights of sleep in a row, and I have looked at booking.com and Airbnb, and there's nothing ahead of me. I will just use my sleeping bag tonight. Alright, now here is probably the final chance for resupply tonight. Just got a second pizza of the day so I have something for the night. Look at that, it's not bad, huh? I'm on a detour on a minor road here. I just had gravel back there. It's needed in order to avoid this banned road that starts here. So I stopped and ate half my pizza back there also. It still says 19 degrees. It feels colder. I'm gonna stop soon. Find a place to bivvy for tonight. Okay, this will be the bivvy spot for tonight. I didn't set an alarm clock, and as expected I woke up after like I think 3.5 hours. Yeah, the sleeping mat is not very comfortable, but I know that. It's a very minimalistic climate sleeping pad. I'm actually feeling a bit hungry, even though I had half a pizza before bedtime and the other half when I woke up. Today is Monday, so I wonder when things start opening. I would love a coffee and a cake. I'm running a few hours behind my schedule, and I would like to get back on that schedule so that I can just get straight onto a ferry over to Albania and not have to wait for another half a day. Yesterday I think started feeling really great. If I can get back that feeling today and the following days, then that could work. I'm gonna need some breakfast with coffee now first before I'm properly awake. But I mean, things are going okay today. And when it comes to my saddle sores, it's good and bad. The left side is actually not bad at all, but I have this blister on the right side, and that's also actually not that bad because I'm able to cover it with one compete. While during the first days I had some pain all over the place. Just got some coffee and croissants here, and also filled up my vest here with waffles and muffins. So what's coming up now is also going to be interesting because it's still a diversion around a forbidden road. So here comes the part that I'm curious about. It's a track that goes along the railroad, and so far it's even tarmac. I have actually gone slightly wrong because I was supposed to be up on this closest bridge there. Here we are. It looks rough, but should be rideable. Look at this. If you know anything about ultra racing, you probably know that the most important thing is to minimize stopping time. That is really much harder than it sounds. There's just so much admin that you have to do all the time. And these things are often not at the same spot. Sometimes you stop for a water fountain, and then 5 minutes later you stop at a shop, and then 5 minutes later you stop for a coffee, and then you maybe stop at the toilet, and so on. So yeah, this morning has been like that. Stopping at every opportunity, and this is even despite the fact that I wanted to be efficient today. I'm just taking a shortcut here on a trail going up this hill, so I don't have to ride all the way over there and then this way back. It's very steep, but that's also the idea, to just be gaining some elevation as efficiently as possible. There's a winding road up ahead to the left, so that's the next mountain pass into Italy. We're in Italy.